took a softer approach at first, but now that I've seen all the charges and I've heard what you said to that woman, you're a bitch, your bodyguard's a bitch, your butler's a bitch, and everybody that stood tall and watched that happen or is sticking up for it.
Me and you are nothing alike. Number two is you painted yourself into this corner. Now you're suffering the consequences from poor choices in the company that you keep. Like, come on, shut the f*** up. You don't know shit. That's why you're sleeping on the f***ing floor.
What winds up coming about from going to the parties, going to the strip clubs, going out all over the place? What does that lead to? That leads to fucked up events happening. That leads to you making bad decisions all the time. What's positive out of it? Tell me. I'll wait.
My message needs to be heard because people need to hear it and understand when they get hated on, why they're being hated on, and how weak-ass the people hating on them are. So sit back, watch the show.
Well guys, it looks like that we are back here yet again, and ever since good old Peggy the Pegginator decided that he was going to get himself arrested for some insane DV charges only a couple of days ago, it appears that the alpha male universe has just been in some straight up shambles, and we have had all types of behavior going on, with Wes's old team constantly calling him out recently, and many of them who constantly had his back in the past have even decided that they were going to turn their back on him and pretty much no longer associate with him. And then on the flip side, when we didn't have that, we have also had his supposed bodyguard basically going to bat for him and trying to defend him at pretty much all costs, where the complete goober and loser was making posts like this on his Instagram story that ended up stating, "Let the haters hate and the doubters doubt, the real will always prevail, my family for life," with a little goofy ass fist there, and with Wes just looking coked out of his mind up in the top right, along with this picture right here where he chose one of the weirdest angles possible, and you get the POV of apparently his dick, where he stated, "All y'all little dick gossip girl ass blank keep running with fake narratives, estrogen having little boys," and then he put a gorilla emoji. And I don't know what the fuck the gorilla had to do with anything or why he put it there, but I guess that's cool to see. And it is all just some crazy work to see in general, where we now have his bodyguard out here defending him and defending an alleged woman beater, which is just diabolical work in general and disgusting. But on top of all of this, the complete dipshit has even been responding in his DMs, so he is really trying to fulfill the role of Wes when it comes to being a lol cow. And he responded to the guy saying, "Little man, I had knee surgery. I haven't been there in a month. Go play Gossip Girl on a YouTube channel or something. You probably got pillow hands, but when a man beats a woman, her whole face would be destroyed, you dork. Fuck off my page, worried about another man's life, cause you a broke ass boy who don't got shit going in yours." And then he sent a picture of his broken leg. So he's now not only running defense for Wes, but he's trying to run defense for himself, saying that he actually wasn't there when the whole incident occurred, and basically just trying to run the narrative that Daddy Wells is lying when she reported that the bodyguard and Jose were there. And it's all just so goofy, because then after this, it just turned into both of them constantly insulting each other and just going back and forth on some complete goofy shit. But with that in mind, he seems to be one of the only actual people around Wes who are currently trying to defend him, because it appears that everyone else is not only trying to distance themselves, but are actively talking shit on him. And one of the first people who jumped on this train of calling him out was Power Bottom Perry, who, if you don't know, got the name Power Bottom for throwing the power bottom down on Wes's shrimp, and used to be a mega glazer and one of his students. But apparently he has come to his senses and is calling Wes out for all of his bullshit and just straight up calling him a bitch and everybody that was involved.
I took a softer approach at first, but now that I've seen all the charges and I've heard what you said to that woman, you're a bitch, your bodyguard's a bitch, your butler's a bitch, and everybody that stood tall and watched that happen or is sticking up for it, you're all fucking losers and fucking idiots. Don't get me wrong, I stood by this man's side for a long time, but if you do some shit like this to a woman, I hope you never see the light of fucking day again. So the soft approach, and I'm a gangster too, ain't nobody fucking scared. All of you are bitches. It's actually absolutely disgusting, the amount of men that stick up for women beaters. Like, I've had 3 people. Like, you would never say that in person. Like, the fuck I wouldn't. First off, I'm bigger than old buddy now. I was in the Marine Corps, we would fight over spilled orange juice, let alone if someone put their hands on women. And I don't give a fuck if you're a silverback gorilla and you got 14 other gorillas with you, bro. I'm dying in that room or getting beat to death with that woman. Period.
And for once, I have to say that I actually agree with this dipshit, even though his tattoo on his eye is still stupid as a motherfucker. At least he is out here speaking facts and calling people bitches who need to be called bitches. And you have to love how he referred to Jose as Wes's butler, so that shows you he's in on the joke that Jose is basically Wes's maid, and how the very arguments that he has been using on people for quite a while now, the whole, oh, you wouldn't say that in person, you wouldn't say that to my face, is now being used on him by Wes's fanboys and by his Wessonites, and he now realizes how fucking stupid it is. And this is still not where Power Bottom got done, just calling out his old idol and his old teacher, because he then went on a couple more tangents where he was talking shit on it still, and was even calling out Jose and the Bodyguard, and the people who allegedly had the audacity and were too scared to do anything and just watched it occur.
There's absolutely no way, no how, no, I don't give a f. Like, if I see you putting your hands on women, then I'm just going to sit there. Like, Kaylin can attest to this. Like, the last person I pulled up on had to write a statement on me saying I pulled out a gun on him. That's how scared they were because he did shit like that. And I have laundry lists, like hundreds of messages about the same person. If you sit and you watch a man put his hands on a woman, you're a fucking hoe. Flat out. And I don't give a fuck. Anybody that wants to smoke, you can come get it. I promise you. Promise you. We can meet right now. But I will always, always, always fight against dudes putting their hands on women because it's corny. It's corny. Especially to that level, bro. And I've been calling this type of shit out for a year and a half. So I'll never be hypocritical just because it was someone I used to associate with. So, and shout out to Clinton. That motherfucker is the only one that really got balls like I do. So love y'all.
And yeah, I will give credit where credit is due, that he is actually staying consistent and for once calling him out, and completely going against Wes after he's been on this bullshit for quite a while now. But as you just heard at the end, he also mentioned that Clinton was also with him, and he would of course be referring to Clinton Cream Pie, aka the man who got known for defending Wes so much and for riding his meat, that he ended up getting a very similar tattoo on his head, right on the side that you will see, and earned that nickname of Cream Pie because he was getting creamed by the shrimp. And Clinton also decided that he was going to step up and speak about the matter, and it started with him posting this video right here.
I'm going to say it because no one else probably has the balls to say it, but if the shoe fits, you better wear it, big dog. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, if the most gangster thing that you've ever done is suffer the consequences for your poor choices and put hands on a female, me and you are nothing alike. Number two is you painted yourself into this corner. Now you're suffering the consequences from poor choices in the company that you keep. My grandmother said, when you hang out with dogs, you get fleas. Now it looks like you have an infestation and your life is falling apart. My advice to you is get right with the things that you've done, accept those lumps graciously, and figure out how you're going to salvage what little life you will have left on this planet as a free man, and do it with grace. And I'm not kicking a man while he's down. In reality, I've been down a long time. Been down just as long as I haven't been in the circle. And it's not because the circle didn't want me. It's because the circle wasn't worth me. That's the truth. You are where you are, and that's okay. There's a way out for everybody. But first steps first, love ain't lies. And the first truth that you should be telling anyone is yourself. There are things that you yourself can fix. There are mistakes that you have made, and there is a better path. But that is a personal choice. It isn't my choice to make for you, and it's also not my place to tell you how to live. It is my place to show you a better way. And maybe that way you don't want. Maybe you don't believe. I'm the person to give you advice. That's okay. But that does not mean that I'm wrong. It also does not mean that I stand on values, morals, and ethics, and I have a track record to prove it.
So as you can tell, we yet again have another person who was very, very close with Wes and who used to defend him multiple times, and as you can clearly see, got a similar tattoo showing that he looked up to him that much, pretty much now declaring that they are nothing alike and that he left that circle a while ago due to Wes's behavior and due to the way that he started to really turn up with the partying and all of his stupid shit, and is doing everything and anything to pretty much distance from him. And it really goes to show you how much Wes has fallen, to where it appears he has done something that has even turned some of his most loyal people against him, and he just really crossed the line this time. And Clinton Cream Pie still wasn't done, because he then went on to talk about how it's not even sad that it happened, and all it was just the life path that Wes decided to choose, and was the consequences and the choices that came with it.
A lot of traffic coming across my page about said named individual and the outcome of their life. And look, I've heard this over and over again, and I don't agree with it. A lot of people, a few too many people, have said, oh, this is sad. Why? It's not sad. I'm not sad. I'm happy. I'm happy because another person got to live life on their terms. Now, that doesn't mean I agree with it. Doesn't mean I'm celebrating the outcome. But I'm happy that they got to exercise their rights and their freedoms to push the envelope of life. Now, the consequences associated with those choices, well, the court systems and groups of their peers will judge them based on those things. And it's more in alignment with a tragedy than sadness. But you can't tell another man how they should live their life. All you can do is live life the right way as an example for them to follow. And if they need that support, they ask.
And it is true that you can't technically tell another man how to live his life, but you can damn sure tell another man that he can't be beating women or beating other people in general like the 7-foot monster. And it really was just a case of Wes fucking around to such an extent that he found out very severely. And Clinton Cream Pie, of course, went on to make it a little goofy, where he decided that he was gonna, at the same time, promote his brand, but also try to distance it from Wes, and tried to declare that his brand isn't a scam, and isn't like what Wes was doing, where he then went on to explain that Wes's program and all that was basically garbage.
At the end of the day, I do the marketing for businesses. I help lay down their CRM, their website, their marketing on Google and Meta, period. That's it. There ain't nothing else. I don't do online coaching. I do have a few students that I help in a similar niche, but I don't do mentorship and coaching. It's not how I get paid or want to get paid. You guys think that, it's a scam. This isn't a posting structure. You know, some of the said name people we mentioned in here sell you a high ticket coaching offer of $7,500. Not cheap. You know what it is? It's a posting structure. Payment processor, trainerize. Garbage, trash, wipe my ass with it. We don't do any of that. We actually get results. If you look at the track record of my clients, you watch me film their first video, and now you watch them make their first $1.5 million, $3 million deal from the Meta environment or the Google environment, or make their first 100K. These aren't new players. These are actual results that they got in their business. And here's the deal. I don't make one fucking penny off of how much business they do with our system. That's not how we work. It's a system designed to scale so that your business can profit the most. Not that I drain you of every living dollar you ever make. Eventually, in a long enough scale, everybody pays the price for poor choices. Everybody. So the outcome from the choices that you make every day, how many people you've truly hurt, not help, right? Did your product really help them scale their business? Did you really ensure that they got results? Or did you take their money, give them a surface product that has a poor track record of results, and then say you're successful? Completely different business model. I stand on ethics, and the businesses that we work with scale at a high probability. 97+% of the businesses that I work with will scale beyond $100,000 months if they pay attention and do what we say.
So as I'm sure you can clearly tell, he not only referred to Wes's coaching programs as being garbage and not what he does, and you can tell he's kind of exposing what they really are with that last little segment where he was mentioning how clients weren't being fulfilled and how the karmic debt built up because Wes wasn't out here doing what he said he was doing and wasn't ensuring the quality. And after this, of course, since it was Clinton Cream Pie, during his ranting about it, we had this goofy shit right here, which I just wanted to throw in because it caught me so fucking off guard.
Never let some broke clown or agency on the internet tell you that organic is the way to go. Like, come on. Shut the fuck up. You don't know shit. That's why you're sleeping on the fucking floor. The grown man, see the link below, little photo. We're not going to accept a couple things. If you open up a conversation with, what does it cost? You're not for me. This isn't for you because you don't prioritize results. My cost is so non-important in the scale of your business. It's crazy. Number two is, if I ask you a direct question and you read it and don't respond, we're gonna block you, because those two conditions don't exist in my ecosystem right now. Because if you were a grown man looking me in the eye, face to face, bro, and you asked me I asked you a question and you looked at me and you didn't respond, I would ask if there was something wrong with your mental capacity as an adult.
And it looks like that even though he's distancing from Wes and turning on him, he's still keeping that alpha male persona where he's doing shit like those clips right there. And this was still not the last person to basically comment on Wesley that used to be close to him. Because we also had Mike Feny crashing out a little bit because someone mentioned Wes and his situation, and apparently it upset him. And if you don't know who Mike Feny was, he was the guy who used to always be in Wes's group. And along with that, he was the guy who became known for crying for Wes as he gave a testimonial trying to promote his courses. And during the clip, he was even distancing himself from Wes and made statements like it had nothing to do with him and he wanted nothing to do with it.
That post wasn't about Wes. It was about haters. That's what it was about. So I'm not going to send out my message because of something else that happened to someone. It's not my problem. I wasn't involved. I don't need that weak energy. Don't worry what other people are going to think. I do my posts for me. I do my posts for my message. I will not alter my message because of other things that happen in other people's lives that I had no part of. My message needs to be heard because people need to hear it and understand when they get hated on, why they're being hated on, and how weak ass the people hating on them are. So sit back, watch the show.
And that right there is where it cuts off as he is screaming, and it just gives you an idea that even this guy who cried for Wesley is now trying to get away from it. And keeping the theme of Mike, we also had Mike Forgione, who was one of the biggest Westonites around and who had constantly defended him and was even always yelling about man tits just like him, going out of his way to also make a statement, basically calling out all of Wes's recent behavior and saying that it was obvious that it was going to lead to what it led to. And he even tries to give Wes some advice, but you can tell that even he is not defending his actions.
What winds up coming about from going to the parties, going to the strip clubs, going out all over the place? It leads to drugs. You start doing drugs, you start partying, you start staying out late. Leads to fucking sleeping in. You're not going to work really, you're not hustling. You're hustling when you wake up at 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. It leads to late starts. And then you're not taking care of yourself. You're not going to the gym. You're not fucking eating right. You're just a completely unbalanced environment. And that's a repeat cycle. 3-4 times a week. Sometimes it's fucking 5 times a week. What does that lead to? That leads to fucked up events happening. That leads to you making bad decisions all the time. What's positive out of it? Tell me. I'll wait.
So yeah, at this point, I think it's pretty safe to say that Wes is cooked beyond belief. Not only is he going to be spending a shit ton of time in jail most likely, but he has also lost some of his biggest supporters and some of the people who used to go to bat for him and used to do anything for him. And I only see it getting worse from here as people continue to distance. And I can bet that some pretty crazy things are going to end up coming out now that he's probably going to get locked up. But with that said, that's where we're going to end it for today. So if you enjoyed enjoyed, please drop a sub and a like and join the Saints Mafia. And I'm out. Watching Wesley continue to lose followers. In peace.
A lot of people have asked recently my thoughts on like the 7-foot monster incident and recent allegations of the DV. Look, I wasn't there. My thoughts is the legal system handles all of these thoughts for us. Everybody has an opinion, just like, everybody's got an opinion kind of stinks thing. Look, it's unfortunate. Likely a tragic ending to something that could have been the greatest comeback story ever.